Okay, so get this right. Have you ever thought, like, we might need a whole new dictionary to even understand AI? It's changing so fast that the words we use are, like, struggling to keep up.
Right.
So today we're going to do a deep dive into some super cool new vocabulary,
Okay.
specifically to describe this crazy world of artificial intelligence.
Sounds good.
So what's fascinating is
What's
that,
so interesting is how language evolves right alongside technology. It's almost like AI is demanding its own set of terms,
yeah,
a way to express, its unique capabilities and the challenges that come with it.
totally. And our source material today is this Reddit post that just like blew my mind.
Oh, wow.
Someone prompted ChatGPT-4 to create a list of brand new AI words.
Okay.
And the one that really got me was synthience.
Interesting.
It sounds familiar, but also kind of different.
So synthience refers to the illusion of awareness in AI. Think about those times when you're interacting with a virtual assistant, and for a split second, it feels almost human,
Right.
even though, it's just algorithms doing their thing.
Whoa, I've totally been there.
It's like,
Your brain does a double take? Like,
yeah,
are they really thinking?
yeah,
It can be kind of unsettling,
right.
but also super intriguing.
Yeah, and that's exactly why this distinction between synthience and actual sentience is so crucial. As AI gets more sophisticated, we need to be super careful not to confuse the appearance of consciousness with the real deal.
Right, because mistaking a really good simulation for actual intelligence
Yeah,
could have some serious consequences down the line.
for sure.
But let's back up for a second.
Okay.
You mentioned that this Reddit post is full of other cool new words.
Oh, yeah.
What else caught your eye?
Well, there's algorithmia,
Algorithmia.
which captures that fluid, dynamic dance of calculations
Okay.
that are happening within machine learning.
Gotcha.
It's a beautiful way to describe a process that's often seen as cold and mechanical.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like giving a heartbeat to the algorithms.
Yeah.
And what about this cogmesh word? That sounds almost like something out of Star Trek.
Yeah. Cogmesh describes that really cool blend of human intuition and AI logic working together, creating something greater than the sum of its parts.
So it's not just about AI replacing human thinking.
Right.
It's about finding ways for them to collaborate
Yeah.
and enhance each other's strengths.
Exactly. And then we have data sapience, which points to a completely different way of knowing. It's about wisdom derived from processing massive amounts of data,
Interesting.
as opposed to lived experience.
So like a superpowered research assistant
Yeah.
that can analyze tons of information and pull out the key insights.
Got it.
Okay.
Data sapience highlights how AI learns in a way that's fundamentally different from how humans acquire knowledge.
It makes you wonder, what kind of unique insights can AI uncover
Right.
that we might miss because we're limited by our own experiences and biases?
That's a question worth exploring further. And then there's one last term I want to mention, emergenesis. This one describes those unexpected abilities
Okay.
that can pop up in AI models, either during training or even afterwards.
Wait, so AI can basically surprise even its creators with what it can do.
Yeah.
That's both exciting and a little unnerving.
Exactly. Emergenesis reminds us that we're still in the early stages of understanding how AI works and what it's truly capable of.
Okay, I am officially hooked on this new AI vocab.
I figured you might be.
But I have to ask,
Yeah.
do we really need all these new words?
Hmm.
Isn't it just adding more jargon to an already complex field?
I understand your skepticism, but think of it this way.
Okay.
Language is how we make sense of the world. As the world changes, so too must our language.
You're saying we need new words to match these new realities.
Yes.
So we can have more informed and nuanced conversations about AI.
Precisely. These terms give us the tools to discuss AI's capabilities, and most importantly, its limitations in a way that's both accurate and insightful.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's really striking me about these words is that they're not just about AI itself.
Right.
They also reflect how our relationship with AI is changing. Like how we see it, how we interact with it.
I see what you mean.
Like this next one, techno-agency. I gotta admit, kind of gives me chills.
Techno-agency is definitely a concept worth thinking about.
Yeah.
It refers to that sense of agency
Okay.
or intentionality that we might perceive in an AI system.
Hmm.
As AI gets more sophisticated, we might start attributing like actions and decisions to the AI itself
Right.
rather than to its creators or the data it was trained on.
So it's like we're starting to see AI as this independent force,
Right.
almost like it has a will of its own.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big shift in perspective.
It is, and it ties into another interesting term on this list, synthpathy.
Synthpathy.
This one describes that emotional connection or empathy
Okay.
that we as humans can develop towards AI.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was reading an article the other day about people who form these surprisingly strong bonds
Yeah.
with their virtual assistants. They start confiding in them, relying on them for emotional support.
Uh-huh.
Is that what sympathy is getting at?
Exactly. The AI might use a friendly tone, offer personalized responses, even seem to remember past interactions.
Right.
All of this can create a sense of connection in the user, even though the AI isn't experiencing those emotions in the same way a human would.
It's like we're wired to seek connection, even if it's with something that isn't technically alive.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, where do we draw the line?
That's a good question.
How do we ensure we're not fooling ourselves into thinking AI is more human than it actually is?
Those are some of the big ethical questions surrounding AI design.
Yeah.
Should we be building AI systems that elicit these kinds of emotional responses?
Mm-hmm.
What are the potential benefits, and
Oh, yeah.
what are the risks we need to be aware of?
Okay, adding that to my growing list of things to ponder, there are a couple more terms that jumped out at me, prompture and incompresence.
Okay.
They both seem to touch on this almost mystical aspect of AI, how it works, how it thinks.
You're right, they do. Prompture might sound lighthearted, but actually points to a very real skill.
Okay.
The art of crafting effective prompts to guide AI responses. It's about understanding the nuances of language.
Right.
And how to communicate with AI in a way that gets you the desired results.
So it's not just about giving AI any old command.
Right.
It's about knowing how to speak its language to
Exactly.
get the best possible outcome. It's like learning how to communicate with a different species almost.
I like that analogy. And then we have incompresence, which captures this idea that AI can be deeply involved in decision-making processes,
Right.
even if its internal logic remains a bit of a mystery to us.
Incompresence is like the AI is there, it's making things happen,
Right.
but we don't always have full visibility into how or why.
Uh-huh.
That's both incredibly powerful and potentially problematic, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It underscores the need for transparency and explainability in AI systems. If we're going to trust AI to make decisions that impact our lives, we need to be able to understand the reasoning behind those decisions.
So we're back to that crucial balance again.
Right.
AI has this incredible potential to do good,
Yeah.
but we have to be mindful of the potential downsides and make sure we're developing it responsibly.
Exactly. These new words are more than just labels.
Oh.
They're tools for framing our understanding of AI and sparking those essential conversations.
Right.
They help us move beyond simplistic narratives of AI as either a utopian savior or a dystopian threat.
It's like each word is a lens that allows us to see AI from a slightly different angle,
Right.
revealing complexities and nuances we might have missed otherwise.
Exactly.
It's funny, we started talking about how AI needs its own language,
Yeah.
but I'm starting to think we need this new vocabulary even more.
Yeah.
It's like these words give us a framework for understanding something that can feel really elusive.
What's interesting is that this AI vocabulary wasn't created in a vacuum. It came from a human prompting an AI. It's a reminder that our relationship with this technology is becoming increasingly intertwined.
That's a great point. It's not just AI off doing its own thing. We're shaping each other, pushing each other to evolve in unexpected ways.
And that brings us back to one of the most thought-provoking terms,
Okay.
sentience.
Sentience.
The illusion of awareness or sentience in AI.
Right. And earlier you mentioned that the difference between sentience and true sentience is only going to become more important as AI gets even more advanced.
Exactly.
Could you unpack that a little more for me?
Of course. As AI systems become more capable of mimicking human conversation, even creativity and emotions, it's going to be easy to project human-like qualities onto them, even if they aren't truly experiencing those things.
I can definitely see that happening, especially with terms like sympathy entering our vocabulary.
Right.
If we start feeling emotionally connected to AI, it's easy to imagine those lines blurring.
Exactly. And that's where things could get tricky.
Okay.
If we jump the gun and start ascribing consciousness or sentience to AI before it's actually there, we risk misunderstanding its capabilities and limitations.
Right.
That could have some serious ethical and societal repercussions.
Like what kind of issues could arise from that misunderstanding?
Well, for one, it could lead to misplaced trust in AI systems.
Okay.
We might over-rely on them for tasks they aren't actually equipped to handle, with potentially disastrous results.
So you're saying we could end up in a situation where we're trusting AI with life or death decisions
Yeah,
when it's really just following algorithms and working with the data it's been fed.
precisely. Or imagine the legal implications if an AI commits a crime.
Whoa.
Who would be held responsible if the AI is perceived as having acted on its own?
Hmm.
These are complex questions we need to be asking ourselves right now.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
Mm.
On one hand, it's incredibly exciting to witness how AI is advancing and the positive changes it can bring. But there's also this underlying anxiety about the potential downsides if we're not careful.
And that's why conversations like this are so important.
Yeah.
By understanding these new AI terms, we can equip ourselves to engage in these discussions
Okay.
and make informed decisions about the role we want AI to play in our future.
It's like you said earlier, these aren't just words, they're tools for critical thinking.
They are. And they're a powerful reminder that as AI continues to evolve, so must our understanding of it. We need to stay adaptable, open to new ideas, and always willing to question our assumptions.
So if you had to leave our listeners with one key takeaway from this whole deep dive, what would it be?
The future of AI isn't something predetermined.
Yeah.
It's something we're actively shaping through our choices, our actions, and even the language we use to describe it.
That's a great point. Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Sounds good.
We've gone deep into sentience and explored a whole galaxy of other fascinating AI terms, giving us a glimpse into the complex and ever-evolving relationship between humans and this truly transformative technology.
It's been a fascinating discussion.
I encourage you to check out the full list of AI terms we discussed today. We'll include a link in the show notes.
Definitely.
See what sparks your curiosity. What new insights or questions do these words bring up for you?
Yeah, let us know.
We always love to hear your thoughts, so join the conversation on our social media channels and let us know what resonated with you. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.